Academy of Arts.
Academy of Art University's Urban Nights update is next.
Yeah, I'm a look. Listen, y'all.
Hey, quiet on set.
Academy of Art University's Urban Nights update is next. Coming up, the app that will reward students when they don't check their cell phones.
You'll meet a trainer with an unconventional way of training and who gets big results.
If you love to read, you're going to love the concept of being able to access books for free.
And Steph Curry teams up with President Obama for a new video. All that and more coming up on Urban Nights Update.
For joining us. De'Ara Haven is with me. I'm Tyler Strawn. International aid is pouring into Ecuador following the earthquake that killed hundreds. Ecuadorian officials said that at least 270 people had died in the 7.8 magnitude quake. With over 2,500 injured, the earthquake hit Saturday in this country of 15 million people, leaving drivers trapped under a collapsed overpass, a shopping mall partially collapsed, and several buildings completely flattened. The earthquake was the deadliest to hit the nation since 1987 when a 7.2 magnitude quake killed 1,000 people.
Japan's Kyushu region is also recovering from twin earthquakes this past weekend. One struck Friday with a magnitude of 6.2 and the second on Saturday with a magnitude of 7.0. The two quakes have combined with heavy rains and are making it harder to find survivors. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has called the search for survivors a race against the clock with anticipation of aftershocks and landslides. The U.S. military has offered to help, but they aren't urgently needed as of now. Between the two quakes, there has been a total of 41 deaths and 968 people injured.
A new field poll shows that Hillary Clinton is barely leading Bernie Sanders, 47% to 41% in California. This time last year, Hillary had a huge lead over Bernie at 66% to 6%. She may be leading the Democratic vote, but Bernie gets the independent voters as well as the majority of young voters nationwide. Hillary has the votes of older voters nationally, but when measuring California, Bernie is favored 55 to 35.
Netflix has some rising competition. Amazon Video is squaring off for the battle of best streaming. For some time, the popularity of streaming has been on the rise and becoming a major part of our lives. Previously, subscribers to Amazon Prime automatically received video streaming services, but now Amazon customers can choose to just pay a monthly fee to view streaming video, which is more similar to the Netflix model. AMC movie theaters are working hard to please all of its customers. At first, it wanted to ban all types of texting or communication inside of the theater, but it's backed off some after receiving so many complaints to a total ban on texting, saying that "you spoke, we listened" quickly. That idea has been sent to the cutting room floor. Instead, apparently the theater chain is considering select text banning in certain theaters.
It's true. The way to a student's heart is food. There's an app that gives students discounts to restaurants if they don't check their cell phones. It's called Pocket Point. When students enter the classroom, the app measures how long they go without checking their phones. The longer it's locked, the more points the student gets, therefore leading to food. If only they had an app to make us do our homework. GameStop said, "Forget the middleman, why not publish our own games?" After recently testing the waters in the industry, GameStop is looking to dive headfirst into publishing business with GameTrust. The goal of this new venture is to help people discover indie games that might be missed due to bigger game releases. Also, the company has seen a drop in sales due to digital releases.
If you are an Uber customer and think that your information is private, it isn't. In New York, Chicago, and even right here in California, Uber may be giving away information about you to the government. Uber reported over 1 million customers and thousands of drivers to local, state, and federal regulatory agencies. Sources say that the reporters are more interested about the growth of the company and not the whereabouts of customers. Attention all drivers for Lyft and Uber. The San Francisco Office of the Treasurer and Tax Collector announced this past Friday that drivers who work for ride booking services will have to register as business within 30 days. Notices have been sent out to the independent contractors in the city notifying them of the requirement. San Francisco-based Lyft says it's concerned that once a driver registered with the city, their information would then become public. Japanese researchers have moved forward in creating electronic skin. Yes, you heard that right. It employs flexible electronics that can be worn as a second skin for biomedical and other apps. The aim of the e-skin is to eventually become a part of our daily lives as the clothes we wear. If they are successful, they hope that athletes could use e-skin to view their heart rates, sugar levels, and workout rates, which could provide doctors with continuous data.
Many personal trainers use the latest high-tech devices in their work with athletes. But there's one trainer who has adopted a unique approach. Our own Sean Ito has the story.
Don't see much rolling.
Ah! Ah! Oh, mother!
Those are some of the sounds that you will hear when you walk into Brad Barton's gym. Brad has trained people from the likes of the NHL, MLS, MLB, PGA Tour, Olympic athletes, all the way to Broadway dancers and performers from Cirque du Soleil. Many find his training to be unusual. Former college basketball player Craig Mitchell explains.
Training with Brad is a lot different than normal training because we don't use weights, but we use different techniques that take just as much or more energy to go through. And when I leave, I feel much better than I do when I come here, and my knees feel better as well.
One of Brad's main goals is reconstructing the body shape and getting your muscles to work correctly. I asked how he accomplishes that and what he brings as a trainer.
A lot of the corrections that you want to do with people to make them better, you actually have to weaken them. You have to break them apart. What I was doing with you and with Craig on the balls was using the weight of your body and the pressure points of the balls to release stuck tissues so that the blood can flow and that the tissues can move properly and so that the muscles can be trained. I kind of like to think that that's what I bring to training, the elements of dance, circus, sport, and try to combine the best elements of those into a system of training.
In Aptos, I'm Sean Ito with your Urban Night update.
Sean reports that you have to be invited to train with Brad, and that he isn't in it for the money. He often takes on gifted high school athletes, and the fees are minimal.
Soda consumption has been rapidly decreasing, causing Pepsi Cola to reshape its product lineup. As ironic as it may sound, the company has taken interest in healthier eating. It is reducing its reliance on soda for sales. With products such as Frito-Lay snacks, Mountain Dew, Naked Juice, and Quaker Oats, the company now gets less than 25% of its sales from soda, according to Pepsi CEO Indra Nooyi. A different kind of indulgence making news this week. Marijuana Garrett Bradley joins us for his opinion about 420.
420 is finally here, and I just wanted to give my opinion about it. For all of you who don't know what 420 is, it's the cannabis holiday. Marijuana users gather in huge groups to consume huge amounts in celebration of the culture. In the past, I have noticed around this time of year, there seems to be a greater amount of transients roaming around the city to join the festivities at Hippie Hill and Golden Gate Park. With them, they bring litter, other drugs, and bad attitudes. I think that free events like this are no good for marijuana smokers, nor the city. On the other hand, there are conventions where to enter you must pay admission and in some cases provide proof of doctor's recommendation. Events like these are sustainable and good for the culture. At the end of the day, we are all free to choose whether or not we smoke. Let's give everyone around us the same choice. At least that's my opinion.
It started with one man, one memory, one garage door, one loss, and years later, the Little Free Library is a growing phenomenon. Our reporter, Toyosi Oniru, has the story.
The concept of the Little Free Library began with a man's front yard in 2009 after the loss of his mother. Ted Boll of Wisconsin built a model of a one-room schoolhouse out of an old garage door, and he filled it with books. It was originally a tribute to his mother, but became much more than that. There are now approximately 10,000 free libraries, and it's increasing rapidly. At first glance, you may assume it's a new age birdhouse or even a dollhouse, maybe some affordable real estate. But the Little Free Library has become bigger than its tiny four walls. We talked to a local LFL reader.
So I was walking home one day and I see this birdhouse kind of looking thing, and it's very new in the neighborhood, so I went and checked it out, and it ended up being a free book library, which is basically, it's 5 or 6 of them posted around the neighborhood area. Someone's done it for the memory of their mother, I believe, and basically it's a free library for the public to bring out, read their own books, and each share their own opinions of what they read and what they believe. It's a great way to meet new people around here, especially with, you go there each week, take your book back and get a new one, and just simply open it up, put it back in. Everyone's respectful with it. There's no difference between just going to a normal library, except for it's much more convenient, and it's a great thing for bringing everyone closer together.
You can officially now order your pre-made Little Free Library online and register your own Little Free Library on littlefreelibraries.org. In Oakland, California, I'm Toyosi Oniru for your Urban Nights Update.
Little Free Library is partnering up with Conn's Home Plus to bring 50 book exchanges to neighborhoods across the state. They will be also holding reading parties at selected schools. If you are interested in more information, visit littlefreelibrary.org.
A UC Berkeley student is demanding an apology from Southwest Airlines after being escorted off for speaking in Arabic. The student had previously met up with UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, and before the flight took off, he called his uncle in Baghdad to tell him about the exciting experience. Another passenger flagged authorities claiming she felt threatened by him. FBI agents quickly began questioning him, and he says he can't believe they thought he was making a threatening phone call. Southwest gave him a refund to book a flight home with a different airline, but has not issued any type of apology. Waiting to hear back from a college can be stressful and nerve-wracking. The University of Buffalo might have just added to your stress. The university accidentally sent out 5,000 applicants' acceptance letters. It took 4 hours for the error to be caught, and a university's officials sent out an additional apology from the school. He also claimed that changes are being made to make sure this doesn't happen again. Some of the applicants who are caught up in this confusion might still be accepted by the admissions office, so don't give your hopes up just yet if you are one of those students.
2 Ethiopian runners dominated this year's Boston Marathon on Monday. This is the first time that 2 people from the same country have swept the big race. This year's race was heavily secured with more than 500 police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics on duty. If you recall the 2013 bombing, you understand the precaution. There were 21 survivors from the incident competing in the 2016 Boston Marathon. 2 of the most popular men in the world teamed up for a special public service announcement calling on Americans to mentor young people.
This looks good. You don't need this little clip art over here. So let's take that out. Incredible dancer. I don't know if people are going to believe me.
Let's see.
You sure want to do it?
Yeah, set me up.
All right. First time I saw the White House was in 1984. I just graduated from college. I was working as a community organizer out of the Harlem campus of the City Colleges in New York. You got to have your elbow in a little bit. All right. Release. Make sure it's on your fingertips.
Maybe I should shoot lefty.
You can try that.
I got one shot at this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. That's science right there. I'm really proud of you, man. That's a wonderful volcano.
Thank you, man.
You don't need all the time in the world or all the answers to be the mentor someone needs. And you don't need to be an NBA star or the President of the United States to be someone's hero.
Support my brother's keeper.
Be a mentor.
Make the time. Go to mentor.gov and mentor in real life.
The NBA playoffs are finally here, so we asked people who they think will take home the Larry O'Brien Trophy and call themselves NBA champions.
I think the Warriors are going to win it, but hopefully I want the Thunder to surprise the West and just beat everybody. I really want Durant to get a ring.
Why do you want Durant to get a ring?
I think Durant deserves one because he got cheated in 2012 when he played against the Heat against LeBron, and I just think he deserves it. I think Durant and the Westbrook deserves it more than Steph.
I believe that the Warriors are in the flow and there's no stopping them. They will be making it to the NBA championships, and I'm really excited about that for all of the East Bay and for our community.
Who do you think will win the NBA championships this year?
Being from the Bay Area, I know I should say the Warriors, but I think, to be honest, that the Spurs or the Cavs might win. I think that they're both really hungry, and I think that a lot of our key players are just getting really tired and that we might start getting sloppy, especially with the turnovers and stuff. And I think, you know, with Steph Curry possibly being injured tonight, like that's obviously going to be a huge factor, you know, with injuries and fatigue. So yeah, and I think the Spurs are obviously, you know, going to do their best in everything they can. They're really well coached. So, and then of course the Cavs with LeBron James. So I don't know, we'll see. I think it'll be a really interesting playoffs this year for sure.
So who do you think will win the NBA championship?
The Warriors, they gotta win. Come on. They're unstoppable.
Coming up next is your latest update in sports with Toyosu Iniru.
Errol Spence Jr. goes from prospect to title contender. If you found yourself believing you had seen the future of boxing after watching Spence put on a flawless performance, you were not alone. It was very impressive as the 26-year-old southpaw from DeSoto, Texas, took a major step up in competition and blew away Algieri, the 31-year-old former junior welterweight title holder and big crowd favorite from nearby Huntington, New York. Spence scored 3 knockdowns, 1 in the 4th round and 2 more in the 5th round, and made it look easy. His left hand was on point, he fought well and on the inside and the outside, and has speed, defense, power, and a diverse arsenal. We are definitely excited to see him dominate the sport. The New York Giants have re-signed Pro Bowl place kicker Josh Brown. The Giants announced signing on Monday, although Brown said he agreed to the deal last week. Contract terms were not immediately available. Brown scored a career-high 134 points, the 5th highest total in the NFL, and the 4th highest total in Giants history. His previous best was 127 points with Seattle in 2007. He made 30 out of 32 field goal attempts last season and a franchise record of 93.8% success rate, and he has hit 77 of 84 field goal tries. In his 3 seasons with the team, Brown has tried 350 points with the Giants moving past Raul Allegri and Amani Tuma. In Philadelphia, a federal... all I can see is numbers. Just like, there's like numbers in between the words, like randomly.
Isn't it numbers, name, numbers?
If you scroll up from where we just were.
It's numbers?
Yeah, scroll up. These, I don't know what those are. So they're like split, it's split, and they're like, it goes 347, 348.
Those are the amount of field goals they've kicked. Yeah.
So why?
It's
but why they?
Name, number.
So why are they in brackets?
Because you put them in.
I didn't put them in brackets.
Oh, that's weird.
She probably changed it.
You know she
Sounds about right.
Right.
She can hear me, huh?
Okay. She can hear me. We're gonna start from concussion.
You're going the wrong way. Concussion's the other way, babe.
Figure it out. Just
Go. Where are you going? That's concussion. Go back down. That's concussion.
How many more? We have like what? 2 more weeks?
2 more shows.
Of baseball?
12
And
games.
I'm ready to start.
We're gonna. Yeah, we're gonna
started concussion. Coming to you. Quiet on set.
In Philadelphia, a federal appeals court has upheld a potential $1 billion plan to the NFL to settle thousands of concussion lawsuits filed by former players. The decision, released Monday by the Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, comes almost a year after a revised deal was approved. Critics appealing the settlement had argued that any deal should include future payments for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, the brain decay found in dozens of former players after their deaths. The settlements would resolve thousands of lawsuits and cover more than 20,000 NFL retirees for the next 65 years. The league estimates that 6,000 former players, or nearly 3 in 10, could develop Alzheimer's disease or moderate dementia. Former NFL quarterback Randall Cunningham keeps raising the bar, and daughter Vashti keeps clearing it. Vashti Cunningham won the women's high jump Saturday at the Mount Sac Relays at Cerritos College, clearing 6 foot 4 inches. Vashti, who was 18, burst on top of the world stage by winning the USA Indoor Championships last month in Portland, Oregon, with a jump of 6'6", the world's best this year. She then became the youngest ever to win a gold medal at the IAAF World Indoor at 6'5". Vashti expects to make her professional debut next month at the Prefontaine Classic in Eugene, Oregon, and compete for a berth on the U.S. Olympic team in July. That's it for sports. See you next week. Oh, wait. Nope. That's not right. Yeah. It's like...
Jacoby, tell Garrett to slow down. No, it's not Garrett. I think Diane cut three reads.
No, he's scrolling fast.
Oh. Hey, tell Garrett to slow down. He's going too fast.
That's some points anyway.
I'm so confused right now.
See, this is why I didn't want to happen.
I feel like my order's been changed because that's not.
Big baby.
Don't worry.
I don't feel salty over there.
What did you change?
Y'all doing good?
You're asking if I can start from the top because
You're starting wherever the prompter, that's what they're saying.
Okay, well, whatever. I ain't redoing this at the end because I just asked you to redo it.
Quiet on set.
Former NFL quarterback Randall Cunningham keeps raising the bar, and daughter Vashti keeps clearing it. Vashti Cunningham won the women's high jump Saturday at the Mount Sac Relays at Cerritos College, clearing 6 foot 4 inches. Vashti, who was 18, burst onto the world stage by winning the USA Indoor Championships last month in Portland, Oregon, with a jump of 6'6", the world's best this year. She then became the youngest to ever win a gold medal at the IAAF World Indoors at 6'5". Vashti expects to make her professional debut next month at the Prefontaine Classic in Eugene, Oregon, and compete for a place on the U.S. Olympic team in July. In other events, Saturday, Ashton Easton, the Olympic champion and world record holder in the decathlon, won the men's long jump at 26.6, but was beaten badly in the 110-meter hurdles. Triple Olympic medalist Carmelita Jeter was 4th in the women's 200-meter final. Katie Ledecky won the 800-meter freestyle, but by nearly 15 seconds on Saturday at the Arena Pro Swim meet. It was her 3rd victory in 3 days, just over 2 months before the U.S. Olympic swimming trials. Ledecky swam well ahead of the rest of the field and touched in at 8 minutes and 13.2 seconds on the last night of the meet At Skyline Aquatic Center, conditions were much calmer than Friday when wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour kicked up the water and gave swimmers an extra element to fight. Ledecky finished 14.65 seconds ahead of Lot Friis of Denmark, who touched in at 8:27.85. Sierra Roan finished third with 8:32.21. And that's it. For sports, see you next week.
Thanks, Toy. Now we take a look at a former athlete who is making a run to help a loved one.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is your host, Dante, and today we head to the Midwest to check out a former wrestler who's fighting for a better life for his family.
Hi, my name is Keith Davis, and right now I'm training for a marathon. In college, I was a two-time All-American in wrestling, and what gave me the drive to make it through the difficult matches was the time I spent with my nephew who has cerebral palsy. For the last 15 years, I have assisted my sister by lifting him in their van before and after school, but it has been very difficult for him to live a normal life because we do not have access to a handicap-accessible van. Every day, my sister must physically lift her son, which is much heavier than her, place him on her back, and then place him in their vehicle. She does not have the strength to continually do this every day, and is now developing back issues over the year due to carrying her son. This prevents him from accessing public transportation, medical care, and going to typical places where kids hang out, and even access to basic everyday needs. Our goal is to raise $65,000 to purchase my sister a van that will give her the ability to have a suitable handicap-accessible van. Right now, I'm training for a marathon, and my goal is to bring awareness to cerebral palsy on behalf of my nephew and others just like him. Thanks for your support.
In Chicago, Illinois, this has been your host, Dante Burney, with an Urban Night Update.
To learn more about Keith Davis, visit Triton College Wrestling.
Good news for you all Gwen Stefani fans. The singer is headed to the Bay Area this fall to promote her latest single album, This Is What the Truth Feels Like. And she'll be teaming up with Eve, who will be supporting her as the opening act. It's their first reunion together since 2001. After several shows around the globe, Stefani will be concluding her tour at the Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View on October 8th. Rihanna made an appearance in an unusual way at the Coachella Music Festival. The pop star worked her way on stage and crashed Calvin Harris's set. Rihanna performed a fan favorite, We Found Love, so the fans weren't that upset. Taylor Swift also joined the crowd and cheered on her boyfriend Calvin and Rihanna. A lot is going on in the entertainment world. Here we have Kaniva Bakari with their weekly update.
Disney remake of The Jungle Book has become an instant hit. The Jungle Book is miles ahead of the pack this week, taking in $103 million. Let's take a look at the preview of this mastermind film.
Are you alone out here? What are you doing so deep in the jungle? Don't you know what you are? I know what you are. I know where you came from. Poor, sweet little cow. I'll keep you close. Let go of your fear now. And trust in me.
Ace of Spades has become a great music venue for the young adults of Sacramento. They sold out this Friday, having performers such as Oki Jr., Neff the Pharaoh, and Sage the Gemini. Neff and Sage welcomed the new upcoming artist Oki Jr. in his first solo performance. Here's a look at some of the clips and how the night went.
Shout out 707 in the building too. What's up?
The next big show at Ace of Spades will be 420 Blackout on Friday. For ticket information, go to aceofspades.com. Caitlyn Jenner has confirmed her surgery to make another change. Yes, back to Bruce. According to E! News, she misses the old person she was. And that's not the only thing she missed. On her show, I Am Caitlyn, she joked around to Kris Kardashian that she would like to get married again. Kris looked very shocked once she heard the news. The next episode will air at 9 p.m. on E! to reveal more details about the sticky situation. Another crazy week, but that's it for entertainment. See you guys next time.
Hello, I'm sitting here with Nabian. Nabian, would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a music producer, sound engineer, and videographer and photographer straight out of San Bernardino, California.
How long have you been doing that?
Let me see. I've been producing. Well, it's kind of a hard question to answer because I really learned back in 2001 when my brother came from Ghana. He taught me how to make beats when I was 11. And then there's this program that I still use to this day called Fruity Loops, which I learned back in 2005, but I didn't start taking producing serious until about 2007. So really, I say about 8-9 years now, somewhere around there.
And what made you come up to the Bay?
Track. I actually had a track scholarship. I wasn't planning, this was literally like my last resort. I was planning on going to Georgia Southern University or Middle Tennessee State University, but Georgia Southern only has a women's track team, and Middle Tennessee didn't have any scholarship money left, as didn't the other schools I had applied to. But, you know, Academy of Art had something for me, so that's how I ended up here.
Do you feel like your creativity is better here in the Bay than it is in San Bernardino?
To a certain extent, yes and no. Like, I just feel like, you know, just because I'm producing every day, I'm always learning new techniques and learning new tricks. And, you know, you just get better as time goes. But there have been a few producers, you know, that have sort of upped my creativity and, like, helped me expand my sound as far as production goes. But really, the main person that has, like, really helped me step my game up is one of my best friends, Ogosh Leotis, from back home. So really, he's the one that made me switch up my whole style and like had me thinking outside of the box when it comes to production.
So would you say you work more with Bay Area artists or Southern California artists?
Definitely, I would say definitely Southern California artists. I mean, you know, I've been there for a long time, but it's sort of, I don't know, because I travel a lot, and so I'm usually just trying to work with whoever's in the same environment as me. So when I was in Arizona, I was working with a lot of artists out in Arizona, but then I also worked with artists in Canada and Florida, and then when I was out in the UK, I was out there producing hip life music for the UK artists and stuff. So it really just depends on where I'm at the time.
So what are you working on right now? Any big projects?
Yeah, right now, I'm not even supposed to say who I'm going to be working with.
Keep it low key.
I'm going to keep it low key. But yeah, there's definitely something big coming later this year. But I'm working on my own personal project. No title for it yet, but I'm producing the whole thing and mixing and engineering it as well. And it's just going to be all the local Bay Area artists.
Okay, well, thank you for coming. That's all the time we have. Thank you.
The film The Green Room is the latest by writer-director Jeremy Saulnier. Our own Matt Cheska found out that Jeremy went back to his teenage years to create this graphic and edge-of-your-seat film. He spoke with both the director and one of the stars, Anton Yelchin.
You're trash. Things have gone south. It won't end well.
You gotta let us go. We're not keeping you. You're just staying.
Shoot who's left. Let him bleed.
Get ready to run.
Here we go.
How did you come up with the storyline?
I actually had been thinking about this scenario for a long time. I was in the punk rock and hardcore scene for quite some time, but back in the 1990s, pretty much, one of the most vibrant periods of the hardcore scene. So I just thought about what's the worst thing that could happen at a show?
So most of the film takes place in this punk rock venue in a secluded place in Oregon. Mm-hmm. Now you also built the venue from scratch.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do this?
So when I write, I see, and the shape of the club became very particular. Now, when we actually got the budget and green light, we were looking for the venue that we needed, and we just couldn't find it. Nothing laid out correctly. And we finally bit the bullet and said, we have to build this from scratch to serve the script. So if we built the spec, then I had all these scenes previously blocked out in my mind. I knew where everything had to go, so I was very comfortable. And so after the initial feelings of guilt, having the whole crew of carpenters and set builders construct an entire concert venue on a soundstage, I realized, okay, that's why we do this. So to serve the script, to serve the story, and make it easier for me to not quite seamlessly, but to really translate my vision in a way that my pre-visualization was actualized.
And I just want to squeeze one last question for you, Anton. Did you find it challenging ever, just shooting so many scenes for long periods of time just in the same room?
Oh yeah, it's definitely exhausting. I mean, it's not exhausting so much physically as it is morally and mentally. It breaks you down, but I think that's what's happening to the characters. We're just doing it over the course of 30 days as opposed to 16 hours, But it's essential to the feeling of this film, at least for the actors, I think, because there were days where I look around and think, I can't listen to these guys screaming and crying anymore. I'm going to lose my mind. And then we'd roll, and that's the exact feeling that I would take into whatever we were doing. It's what they're feeling. They're feeling this kind of madness, at some point.
I want you to follow.
Yes, I am. I don't know. There's been a stabbing. Whoa! God damn it!
You didn't lock the door. You didn't lock the door.
No, don't talk and don't touch them. Stay put. It's fine.
That's it for this week's Urban Night Update. For everyone here, thanks for joining us. I'm Tyler Strong.
And I'm De'Ara Haven. Have a great weekend and see you back next time.